Germs Up Close came into being in March of 2020 when Sarah Levine and I realized that our relationship with germs was about to change in a big way. Sarah is an award-winning science writer, and she came to this book with a real vision for how to teach young readers about infectious diseases. We knew from the beginning that we wanted to incorporate amazing micrographs, photos taken using a microscope, to show readers what germs look like, really up close. The book presents a variety of germs that affect humans and provides key information about the diseases they cause, prevention, and more. Incredible photos and illustrations show viruses, including COVID-19, as well as bacteria, fungi, and protozoa. In addition, Sarah includes scientifically proven tips for staying healthy and key information about the immune system, vaccines, and medication. As much as this book is highly topical, it also has great information to promote science literacy and an informed understanding of infectious diseases. Back matter includes information about possible careers for kids who think germs are cool, as well as a glossary and further reading suggestions. The Delightful Oddbods by Julie Murphy showcases animals you may know and perhaps some that are new to you. One of the reasons I love this book is because it highlights unusual animals, not so we can laugh at them, but rather to celebrate the traits that make these animals unique. Readers will meet the awesome-looking thorn bug, which is on the cover, as well as the naked mole rat, the red-lipped batfish, which is shown here in the sample spread, the eye, a type of lemur that uses its extremely long middle fingers to extract grubs from inside trees, and many more. Back matter includes more odd animal facts and suggested further reading. Author Patricia Newman first connected with photographer Annie Crowley while working on the book Plastic Ahoy, and they've become fast friends. This new book came out of Annie's love for the ocean and her experiences with the young people who learned to scuba dive as part of her dive team in Seattle. Planet Ocean brings readers to the Coral Triangle near Indonesia, the Salish Sea near Washington State, and to the Arctic Ocean near Utqiagvik, which used to be known as Barrow, Alaska. Annie contributed photographs from all three of these places, but the book isn't just about seeing things from her perspective. Annie also helped Patricia connect with people local to these areas so she could incorporate the perspectives of others who have a close connection to the ocean and are witnessing firsthand the effects of climate change, plastic pollution, and ocean acidification. By weaving together the stories of these three places, Patty and Annie highlight just how important the ocean is to the health of our planet, even for those of us who live very far from its shores. Additionally, sidebars feature young environmental activists and give readers great tips for how they too can become ocean advocates. Finally, the book includes QR codes that link to amazing videos Annie created, complete with voiceovers and music, to give readers a look at each of the featured locations and help deepen their understanding of the concepts in the book. It was a weird year for baseball given the pandemic and the very late start to the season. But do you remember what was so memorable about the 2019 baseball season? It was all the home runs. In It's Outta Here, Matt Doden takes readers on a trip through baseball history. The book goes from the early days of the sport when home runs were extremely rare to the record-setting 2019 season and speculations about just why it was such a big year for home runs. In addition to highlighting players from throughout the game's history, including Negro League stars, Doden also delves into the more scientific side of the home run with a discussion of launch angle and exit velocity. He also talks frankly about steroids, their dangers, and their role in the legacies of players such as Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds. So as much as the book is a fun read for sports fans, it also touches on some weightier issues that should get readers thinking. Here is a gorgeous new picture book by Miranda Paul and Sijia Hong that takes readers on a journey past the outer reaches of the solar system and beyond. Miranda Paul is more than a little obsessed with outer space, and she really poured her love of the universe into this lyrical text. She highlights phenomena including a planet where gemstones fall from the sky, a black hole, the birth of a star, and dark matter. Miranda went to great lengths to do research for this book and consult with experts, even attending an astronomy workshop in Wyoming while revising the manuscript. The art is absolutely beautiful and infused with a sense of wonder that comes from Sijia Hong's genuine love of the topic. As she writes in her illustrator's note, if she hadn't decided to become an illustrator, she definitely wanted to be an astronaut, something we weren't aware of until after hiring her to illustrate the book. The back matter includes lots more information about the concepts in the text, including a handy list of how much time it would take a letter traveling at the speed of light to reach some of the places featured in the book. And for my fellow picture book nerds, you'll enjoy that this book has an unconventional opening that's a bit reminiscent of the opening of Giant Squid by Candace Fleming, with the title page coming on page 7. How to build an insect is a fun and innovative look at insect anatomy. Lots of kids can tell you that an insect's body has 3 main parts: a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. But beyond those parts, what else do you need? Well, you need eyes, legs, wings, antennae, ears, and even spiracles. Debut author Roberta Gibson is a book blogger with a master's degree in entomology, making her the perfect author for this book. Anne Lambelay's incredible illustrations give a detailed look at a variety of insects, showing them in a fantastical workshop that has everything you might need to build an insect of your very own. Back matter includes a large-scale labeled diagram of insect body parts, as well as a hands-on activity in which kids can use common craft supplies to build their own insect. I'm very excited about this picture book by award-winning author Tracy Sorrell. Classified tells the story of Cherokee aerospace engineer Mary Golda Ross, a hidden figure of sorts, and this is the very first children's book to focus on her. What I love about this book is that it's not just about who Mary was and what she accomplished. Tracy tells Mary's story by looking at how key Cherokee values shaped her, including gaining skills in all areas of life, working cooperatively with others, remaining humble when others recognize your talents, and helping ensure an equal education and opportunity for all. From a young age, Mary had a passion for math, and during World War II, she began working for Lockheed Aircraft Corporation. She went on to earn an engineering certificate and was invited to join the top-secret Skunk Works division as the sole female other than the secretary. She was well respected by her colleagues and did work that remains classified to this day related to space travel, ballistic missiles, and more. She also served as a mentor to Native Americans and young women, encouraging them to pursue careers in engineering. The wonderful art is by Métis illustrator Natasha Donovan, who has illustrated both graphic novels and other picture books with Native themes. You see those equations on the cover? Natasha got them from Mary's own notebooks. As part of Tracy's research, she visited the archives at Northeastern State University and went through Mary's papers, taking more than 600 reference photos that we passed along to Natasha. The back matter includes a timeline, a couple of photos of Mary, an author's note, and Cherokee translations of the key values highlighted in the book, as well as source notes and a selected bibliography. The Floating Field tells an incredible true story of a group of Thai boys who built their own floating soccer field after falling in love with the sport, but being unable to play regularly. You see, Koh Phangan, Thailand is a tiny fishing village built on stilts, and the boys could only play soccer twice a month when the tide was low enough to expose a sandbar. Debut author Scott Riley teaches in Singapore, and he made 2 trips to Koh Phangan in the course of researching this book. He was able to interview Prasit Hemin, who is one of the builders of the original floating field and a founding member of the Panyi Football Club. That first floating field was far from perfect. It was unsteady, it had small goals, and any time a ball went out of bounds, the kicker had to jump into the ocean to retrieve it. But the field's flaws also helped the players develop amazing footwork. The boys entered a tournament on the mainland, and in their first ever experience playing on grass, they made it to the semifinals and finished in 3rd place. The stunning illustrations are by a Vietnamese illustration duo, Nguyen Quang and Kim Lien. Back matter includes a note from Prasit himself, a map and photos from the author's visit to Koh Phangan, and a list of soccer terms in both Thai and English. This book will, of course, draw in kids who love soccer, but I think the story of a group of kids encountering a problem and working together to find a surprising solution has very broad appeal. Unspeakable is a powerful picture book that brings together award-winning author Carol Boston Weatherford and equally decorated illustrator Floyd Cooper. The book will release just ahead of the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre. In 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma was a booming oil town with underlying racial tensions that stemmed in part from the relative wealth of the African American neighborhood known as the Greenwood District, or Black Wall Street. In moving verse, Carol Boston Weatherford chronicles the story of Tulsa and the Greenwood District and describes how a brief incident between a young black man and a young white woman sparked a massacre in which armed white men flooded into the Greenwood District, setting fires and shooting anyone within sight. Information about the 2 days of violence was suppressed for decades, and to this day it is not known exactly how many people were killed, though research suggests it may be between 150 and 300 people. Back matter includes an author's note with more information about what happened, several photographs, both archival and current, and an illustrator's note from Floyd Cooper, who himself grew up in Tulsa and whose grandfather experienced the massacre as a teenage boy. The book has received multiple starred reviews, and in its starred review, Booklist said, Unspeakable is, quote, a must-have for those seeking the painful and complete truth. In Rissy No Kissies, we meet a lovebird who doesn't like kisses. But don't all lovebirds enjoy kisses? Surely Rissy must be sick, confused, or rude. In charming rhyming verse from Katie Howes, we follow along as Rissy figures out how to kindly but firmly speak up for herself and celebrate all the ways she does enjoy sharing love, from singing songs to making cards and holding wings. As the mother of 2 elementary-age boys, I've tried to teach them about consent and bodily autonomy, and I'm so pleased to be able to publish a book like this that will help kids, caregivers, and educators navigate these issues. The book also has back matter with more information for both kids and adults about body autonomy, consent, boundaries, and sensory processing. The adorable watercolor illustrations are from Jess Engel, and their charm and bright colors make this book appealing and approachable. We're releasing a paperback edition of A Fall Ball for All, which combines poetic rhyming text from author Jamie A. Swenson with gorgeous illustrations by Chiara Fidele. The text describes the autumn wind issuing an invitation to the animals of the forest to come to the annual windfall ball and feast together before winter sets in. This book is a work of fiction, but its curricular themes make it a great choice for teachers who might want to include it in lessons about the leaves changing color and animals getting ready for winter. We're releasing a paperback edition of Sometimes You Barf by author and illustrator Nancy Carlson. This book takes a humorous and compassionate look at just what happens when you get sick at school. And readers are reassured that even if you barf at school, it's okay, and before long, you will get